Alex, thank you. And surprising new information surrounding hurricane season preparation. A new survey that was just released shows 60% of homeowners say they haven't taken any steps to better protect their home. And with record warm water temperatures right now, certainly you've got to prepare for what could be, especially right now with Brett out there, an early active part of the first part of the season. So I want to bring in now with our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb, Dale Porfilio, Chief Insurance Officer for the Information Institute. It's good to talk to you. Think about those stats, the number of people that haven't prepared. It seems like we go through this every single year. Why are we in vulnerable locations not preparing, Dale?
I would summarize that there's still a perception problem of who is at risk. We asked some of the questions in our survey saying, what is your perception of events coming into your particular home? And 32% of the people reported that they had been impacted by weather in the previous 5 years. But stunningly, 25% do not expect to ever be impacted by weather risks. If you don't expect that, then what's the point in preparing? You don't believe it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to somebody else. And if you add in people who don't think that they're going to be impacted in the next 5 years, you actually end up with 2/3 of the people. So 2/3 of the people think this is somebody else's problem and not my own. Why do I need to prepare with a home evacuation plan or home inventory if it's not going to happen to me?
Now, Dale, another statistic caught my attention that you all put out. He said that among people who perceive that they do have a flood risk, that 78% of those people went and got flood insurance. But this is what I really wanted to get to ask you. I have a family member who lost their home in the Fort Myers Beach area in Ian. And after the fact, they can't replace it. They didn't have flood insurance. And he told me that he was told he couldn't get flood insurance. So are there people who perceive they've got flood risk and they want to get flood insurance? Are there places where you simply can't get it, or was he given bad information?
There's two places you can go to purchase flood insurance. The first one is there is the National Flood Insurance Program, which does have broad availability, but some people may think it as very expensive because flood risk is certainly very present. Flood losses occur in over 90% of catastrophes. And so in some markets, it's very, very expensive. But there is the National Flood Insurance Program, and there's also a growing list of private carriers that are also offering flood. That said, if your home is in an area that has been damaged multiple times and you're still living in that place, it is possible that some folks do not want to underwrite and write that risk.
Dale, I wanted to ask you about Florida specifically. We're getting hit year in and year out with catastrophic damage, right? And it's very costly. More and more insurers are pulling out of Florida. Insurance rates are going sky high these days. What are our options in Florida?
If you're looking for coverage in Florida, there are several options available to you. The national brands have pulled back. Some of them are still there. There are companies that we refer to as kind of Florida specialists that they operate primarily in the state of Florida, and they have different expertise to try to address specific concerns. There is always the fallback option of the Citizens Corporation, which is the state-run organization. They do have some requirements as well, but they will take most people. And a fourth and final option would be that there is also excess and surplus lines, which are regulated in a different way. And have broader latitude with pricing that would also be available for somebody who can't find options if they can't find any other options available to them.
Well, Dale, just a little bit of time left. Very quickly, the stat you also put out was that more than half of people who live in evacuation areas don't have an evacuation plan. Any suggestions on how we address that?
I think it's raising the awareness. That's an awful lot of what the Insurance Information Institute does, is trying to make consumers aware of the risks. So the specific stat was that 52% of people have a home evacuation plan. That means obviously 48% do not. It is, if you live in harm's way, such as Brett coming towards you, came after that, knowing what you would do when one is coming your direction and not having to figure it out is essential.
Well, Dale Porfilio, Chief Insurance Officer for the Insurance Information Institute, thanks for your time. Good to talk to you.